morning. I decided to dress up fancy for y'all today, like my hat. Actually, I'm about to go outside and plant some bulbils. And if you don't know what that is, I didn't know what that was when I first started planting these. It's the head of your garlic. So when you grow garlic, when it's close to maturing, it'll have scapes that grow from it. And a lot of people who grow garlic will say cut the scapes because it will cause the energy of the plant to go into the bulb to make it larger, because we're all about bigger, better, stronger, right? Which, that's a whole nother issue to me. I don't think God intended this for us to have huge produce. That's just, He made it just the right size so we would have just enough that it wouldn't go to waste. We could eat it and be done with it, and it wouldn't go to, the excess would not go to waste. But that's a subject for another time. So your garlic, if you will let it go, let the scapes go, let them form seed heads. Sometimes maybe you've seen the seed heads on them. They'll have little flowers on them, and they'll open up, and those seed heads will form little tiny baby garlics. So this is what they look like when they're still on the stem, except they're green. This one's dried out, obviously. And there's a bazillion little seed heads in there. And what I'm gonna do this morning is I'm gonna throw these suckers out on the ground, and hopefully in a couple of years they'll produce garlic. Because I don't know about you, but I'm tired of paying a ridiculous amount for seed garlic every year. This is part of being self-sustained. Grow your own food, yes, but keep the seed. There are many things, fruits and vegetables, that you can grow that have their own seed, that you can pull that seed out, you can dry it, you can save it till next year, and you won't ever have to buy seed from a store again. So, and garlic is crazy expensive. So if I don't have to buy my own seed garlic to plant every fall, that would be huge. This year I planted over 180 cloves for 180 bulbs. People are like, wow, what are you going to do with all that garlic? You would be surprised. Garlic salt, garlic powder, fermented foods that I make, I put garlic in. All of your pasta dishes, spaghetti, things like that have garlic in it. There's just so many ways to use it. One of the things that I've started doing in the last year or two is fermented garlic and honey for the cold and flu season. So right now I have 2 jars of honey that's got garlic in it that we just take straight out of the jar whenever we start feeling sick, or there's we've been exposed to people who are sick. We can use it as a immune booster to try to prevent being sick, or we can take it when we do have something to try to minimize the symptoms. So there's a plethora of ways to use the garlic. And in fact, if I step to the side, you'll see that's most of my garlic right there that I harvested this year. And I say most because I've already used probably, out of that 180 some odd harvest, I've used probably 1/4 of that already. So if you can grow it your own and not have to pay for the seed garlic, that's going to be a huge thing for your homestead or your kitchen or whatever. This is what the bulbs look like when they're dried out. You can see this one's actually missing some already. When it completely dries out, it just about bursts open. I cut all these heads off, and then I just pushed all of these little seeds out. Look at that. There's almost nothing left. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna throw it out into the yard.
Bulbils take 3 years to mature. They seed on the first year and grow small bulbs which are harvested, dried, and replanted in the fall. The following year they'll be larger and you can either harvest and use them at this stage or replant them a second time for an even larger bulb the following year. I'm sure this is probably not the proper way to plant these, but if weeds can reseed like this, then why can't these little suckers? Besides, it's not like I'm out any money. I just hope the chickens don't find them. This tall weed with the yellow flowers can be seen absolutely everywhere at this time of year. This is goldenrod, and contrary to popular belief, it is not the culprit for your fall allergies. It just gets a bad rap because the large flower heads are so easily seen. You would think that more flowers would equal more allergies, but it just isn't the case with this herb. In fact, the opposite is true. Combined with a few other herbs, it's an amazing antihistamine. Here's another tall herb topped with a yellow flower. This is evening primrose. I've read the seed is great for female problems, arthritis, and migraines, and the flowers are tasty in salads. Although we have plenty on our property, I haven't had a chance to use it. Next up is elderberry. In my opinion, this is one of the top dogs when it comes to immune boosters. It's a little difficult to see where I'm pointing, but I'm trying to show where the stem can be broken to harvest. There's an elbow or joint in the stem above the fruit cluster that will just snap off when twisted. Elderberry is ready to harvest when the fruit is completely black and the heads are hanging almost upside down. Good luck getting to them before the birds, and don't confuse them with poke. Hiding in the grass and actual weeds is another gem. This is mullein. This herb is used for respiratory issues, among other things. The leaves can be used as an expectorant, and the flowers, steeped in oil, can be used for earaches. It's also been called the cowboy's toilet paper because it's so soft. I like to throw a little of this multi-purpose herb into my elderberry syrup. When harvesting, only use the small, young leaves. Mullein has a 2-year life cycle. This plant is in its first year. These are second-year mullein, all of them in their reproductive stage. In the fall, after all the flowers drop off, the stalk will dry out, turn black, and have thousands of extremely tiny seeds in the pods that were left by the flower. These flowers I'll put into a jar with some kind of oil, like olive oil, and leave them in a sunny window to steep for a couple of weeks. This day's harvest consisted of elderberries, goldenrod, mullein, and evening primrose. Normally I can't get to the elderberries before the birds. This year I was very happy to have harvested almost 3 cups of berries to use for my syrup.